Hey, everybody, and welcome to Portraits of Atlanta, the only podcast where you get to learn about your neighbors and what makes our communities great. My name is Chris Lazarus. I'm the host for today's episode, and we are joined by Dee Dee Lee.
Hello.
Skyline Property Management. Dee Dee, welcome.
How are you? Thank you. Thank
How
you for
are
having
you?
me. I'm great.
Yeah?
Yes.
So you're a local East Cobber,
Yes.
but you work in Woodstock.
Correct.
How long have you been here?
In East Cobb,
Yeah.
my parents and I moved here in 1996.
96,
I
the
went-
year of the Olympics.
The year of the Olympics, because it was, he was starting a new business.
Okay.
So he wanted to pick a city where there's going to be growth.
Nice.
So Atlanta was it. And we moved to Marietta, went to Wheeler High School. Then from there, went to Georgia Tech. And moved to Woodstock with my husband after we got married. Lived there for about 8 years, which is why my business is still there. And then we moved back to East Cobb now with our 3 kids.
So Marietta to Woodstock, back to Marietta.
Yes.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. So what do you like best about where you live? Why'd you come back to East Cobb after being in Woodstock?
Well, for us, the choice was simple. We love the schools of East Cobb, Cobb County. So that was our priority number one. And our 3 kids are, the oldest is almost 12 and the youngest is in kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
So, he's moving on to first grade. So, that was our number one choice. And also Cobb County has just grown tremendously over the last 10 years. Where we live now, it's like close to everything, shopping and all the restaurants. I'm a foodie, so I love all of the restaurants that East Cobb has to offer.
Well, you get kind of being in East Cobb, you're like halfway to 400 and halfway to Woodstock.
Yeah.
So you've got all the restaurants of East Cobb, but you also have everything in downtown Woodstock.
Yeah.
And that's growing like crazy, right?
It's beautiful, yes. So where we live, we're 7 miles from Woodstock. Then we're also about 15 minutes from downtown Roswell. But we're in Cobb County. So it's kind of like we get the best of 3 worlds.
Yeah, right?
Woodstock, you've got Main Street Woodstock, which has just, I don't know, it exploded.
It's blown up over the last 6-7 years.
Exploded. And there's entertainment on Main Street. There's all kinds of restaurants, food truck, truck and tap. So just basically you can do anything you want when you go to Woodstock. You'll have anything, drinks. There's a wine bar, the ice, which is like martini bar.
Ooh.
Beer, Truck and Tap has all kinds of beer, Reformation Brewery. So you have all of that. And then downtown.
You had me at martini bar.
Yeah, martini bar. There's something for everyone. There's something for everyone.
It sounds like it. And so you own a property management business.
Yes.
And you are extremely involved in the business community in Woodstock. Like every time I see something online, it seems like you're there. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit about what you do and why you do it.
So like you said, I started my property management business in 2010. I actually, prior to that, in 2004 was when I started purchasing rental properties of my own. Mm-hmm. And I owned up to 10. And I did the biggest mistake, I always tell people, the biggest mistake that I made, also the best mistake I ever made, was manage those properties myself. I made every mistake you could ever make in the book of property management, but because of those makes, that made me an experienced property manager.
Yeah.
So when I got to, open my doors to manage other people's properties, like I know what to do to help them avoid the mistakes that I made. And
School of the hard knocks.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. So then, as I grew my business over the years, I was able to hire very talented staff members to start taking the workload off of myself slowly over time. And then I learned what I really love to do, which is to connect people and to be involved and to help people. Volunteering has always been a passion of mine ever since high school, college. And so it's like, when you can focus on the one thing that you're really good at doing, that you love doing, you just that's where you blossom. You know, you have your personal development and your career, your business growth goes along with it.
Always.
Because people see your passion, they see that you really love what you do. So really, when you ask me what do I do now, is to connect with people, to network with people. That's what I love to do.
That's awesome. So
That's
you
why
mentioned
I'm everywhere.
volunteering is a big passion of yours. What do you like to volunteer your time for? Like if there were one cause that's your cause, what is that?
There are, can I have 2 causes?
You can have as many causes as you want.
So
You're the guest.
Rotary
Okay.
is huge for me. I joined Rotary in 2012. And Rotary is an international organization, and it's a community made up of business leaders that, they have the time, they have the resources to work in their local community. So they find the needs of whatever their local community has, whether it's supporting a school, supporting another nonprofit organization. We lend a hand, we give money, we do fundraisers for that charity or for that cause. And then Rotary International, has some big causes like ending polio.
Yeah.
And so we all work together jointly as an organization towards that.
Nice. So that's so Rotary is that's your thing. That's where you spend most of your time.
Rotary is huge. I am an assistant governor now, so it's in Cherokee County.
Okay. So what's that mean?
I have
for
5
us
clubs.
Non-Rotarians?
Assistant governor. It's not as glamorous as it sounds. No, it's actually a lot of fun. I have 5 clubs that I help, just whatever their administrative needs are, motivating their presidents and making sure that they, on track, or they're on track to lead their organization, their clubs. So basically, I'm just a supporting role to the presidents of those clubs. I enjoy it. Again, it gets me out there all over Cherokee County to meet different people of different backgrounds. But most of these people are all business leaders. So it's also a great networking opportunity. It's amazing that when you shift your focus from how can I get business from someone? How can I take business from someone? You focus on giving to these people, right? And when you do that, they're just as willing to give that back to you.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things that I teach my agents. So in my role as broker over at Select Realty, I do a lot of training for new agents, and I teach them all. It's a sharing economy right now. Like I think that was even a book, which I should probably read, because I read a lot. But it's not about us. It's about how we can help others. And if we're able to, the more we help people, the more that kind of comes back to us. And not just in business, but also, in karma, goodwill, the spirit of the universe, whatever you want to call it, like what you put out there comes back tenfold. So I love that you operate on that kind of philosophy there.
I'm a firm believer.
And we actually met because we were both speaking at a real estate event, probably 2 or 3 years now?
Maybe 3.
3 years ago, yeah. It's been crazy. So you also speak to the community on kind of like from an educator standpoint. How did you get into doing that?
So that goes to the second organization that I really give a lot of time to, which is NARPM. It stands for...
I'm reading your mind.
Yes.
Because I did not schedule... I didn't structure it that way, so I'm glad we got in there.
We have a great friendship, so it's like we can always read each other's minds sometimes.
Almost.
Well, NARPM is National Association of Residential Property Management.
Okay. So it's a mouthful.
Yes. It's a mouthful. In Atlanta, we have one of the largest chapters in the country. We have about 285 members now.
Okay.
And like you said, we're in a very much of a sharing community world, society. And NARPM it embodies that. It's like a very collaborative effort of property managers. We're, in one sense, we're competitors because we all own different property management companies. But really, when we're as a part of NARPM, we don't see each other as competitors. We're more like collaborators. So by that, I mean we share information willingly, openly, even with people that are like their offices are 5 minutes down the road. We share information. We talk to each other about what works for us, what doesn't work for us. We share forms, agreements, anything that people need to make their business successful, because the belief is that when you work together, you help each other succeed, you're going to succeed along with it. And together we're building an industry that is reputable. And when we all work together to raise the standards of that, it benefits everyone.
Absolutely.
And I've never felt like my business would get stolen away or we're
Somebody's
stepping.
not going to come and just steal Skyline's
Never.
secrets? And
Has never happened. I actually share my secrets. That's how I got to become an educator. Is I wasn't afraid to share, and what I found out is that when I started sharing or started teaching, people gravitated towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and what I share is not really like the dry policies and stuff having to do with property management. It's more like what you and I are talking about right now, is as a business owner, regardless of what business you have, you've got to make sure that your focus is right, and it comes from if you want to call it like a spiritual perspective.
yeah.
Like helping others will help yourself. So that's when I speak to the group, that's what I like to speak on.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So we need to take a break. We'll be right back after some words from our sponsor.
Awesome.
Portraits of Atlanta is sponsored by Select Realty. Select Realty is proud to present Honest Offers. Honest Offers is more than just an instant cash offer on your home. We let you know how much you profit when you sell by owner, traditionally, or a cash offer. With Honest Offers, you'll know which selling method is right for you, the way you want to sell. We're revolutionizing home sales with Honest Offers. Contact us at 770-509-0265 or go to selectrealty.com with 2 L's in the word sell.
Hey everybody, and welcome back. We're here with Dee Dee Lee, owner of Skyline Property Management, getting to know you a little bit about your philosophy, what you do, how you got into it. So let's shift gears a little bit. What's your favorite place to eat? You said you're a foodie earlier.
Yes.
Like, what's your hangout?
That's a really tough question for a foodie, that.
Self-proclaimed.
But the one place in Atlanta that I will always go to because I just know I'm going to have a good experience there, and whoever I take to there will be impressed, and they will most likely come back, is Rumi's.
I've heard about, one of my agents told me about that.
Yes.
So that's Persian, right?
It's Persian. It is, when you walk in, it just has a great atmosphere. So if you have a client that you want to impress, you want to give them a good dining experience, take them to Rumi's. You will not regret it. It's there's actually 2 locations now, one in Sandy Springs off of Roswell Road, and then the other one is at the Avalon in Alpharetta.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic experience.
Awesome. And so that's your place to eat.
Yes.
What do you do when you're not working?
That's a really good question. And a big part of it is spending time with my kids.
Okay.
So I'm always working. That's why this question trips me up a little bit, because
That's the self-employed thing.
It really is. My mind is always working. So I think it's a balance that most people struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Is how do you balance that? For people like you and I, and you can relate, it's kind of hard to say, you know what, I'm gonna not focus on work at all. I'm gonna focus on something else, because work is always on your mind. So you kind of have to try to work to incorporate both work and life together. So, but I do try to focus on one thing at a time. So when I spend time with my kids, try to just focus on that with them. And they know that when I'm spending even just an hour or 2 with them, I'm there fully with them. But then I'll say to them, okay, now that we've had this time together, I'm going to spend an hour on email. So then I'm expecting them to allow me the time to focus on my email. You know, it doesn't always work out perfectly.
Yeah.
But
and I'm sure it's easier having, you know, a 12-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my youngest is 1. So
Yeah, when your kids
like,
get older,
yeah.
it definitely gets easier. But when they're young, you train them is like, you know, mommy works for a living. That's how I pay for all your awesome, you know,
Yeah,
experiences.
right? Yeah.
But let's respect my time, and I'll respect my time when I'm with you. So that's kind of something I've always tried to teach them when they're young.
Okay.
So I like spending time with my kids. Like this week, I'm taking them to Atlanta to do the City Pass.
Cool.
We're going to do 5 attractions.
So for our audience, if they don't know about the City Pass, why don't you tell them about that?
So City Pass, you pay a flat rate. I think it's less than $60 a person.
Okay.
You get to pick 5 attractions in Atlanta. So what we're doing this week, and you have 9 days to do it. So this week we're doing the aquarium, Fern Bank, the zoo, World of Coca-Cola, and CNN Center.
All for
All
under
for
$60 per
less than
person.
$60 a person.
That's awesome.
It's a great deal.
Because I know I can go to the zoo and spend $40 a person.
Yeah, exactly. And the aquarium by
Yeah.
itself is, I think, $40 to $50 a person.
Definitely.
Yeah, so if you really want to just have a quick, you know, tour of Atlanta, City Pass is the way to go.
That's awesome.
Outside of spending time with my kids,
Yep.
I love to read. I know you're a reader, so I
am.
actually, when I follow you, I look at what books you're reading, and I try to, you know, add that to my queue. But on my nightstand, I have books like stacked this high.
We're kindred spirits.
Yeah, and you know,
I actually had to bring them all to the office.
Really?
Yeah, I have one shelf now that's to read because my wife was like, this
many.
has got to go.
Yeah, are you
There's
like
too
me
many.
where it's like you see someone read a good book and they recommend it, you're like,
yeah.
okay, I'm adding that to my cart.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I do the same thing.
It's all in Kindle, and you know, fortunately, you know, there's Prime books now, and that gets a lot of them for free. But it's either that, the library, or you know, if I find it on Kindle, it's on Kindle. And then I'm the kind of person that if I buy a book, read it on Kindle, and love it, I buy it hard copy just so I have it because I'm going to see it all day, every day, and
Yeah.
always think about it.
It reminds you of the message that the book has.
Yeah,
that's great. There was an
really
argument
weird.
that I saw recently on Facebook about is listening to audiobooks the same as reading? You know, do you call that reading?
I get the
And
message.
I think it
Yeah.
is. It is reading. It's the
Yeah.
new way to read.
I've definitely, you know, there's a lot of books that I can't read, but I'll audible all day, every day. Reading Dr. Taleb in The Black Swan, and then his follow-up book, Anti-Fragile. Like, those are really in-depth books. Like, those are, like, brain-expanding, economy-style books. Like, I would fall asleep after 2 pages reading that. But I could just go throughout my day or be working out in the morning and listen to it, and, you know, it's tolerable. And you get that message across. So, yeah, there's some books like that I got to audible.
It's kind of dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite book?
Well, right now I'm reading a book. It's a psychiatrist's book about studying your brain. So once
I love those.
once you understand how your brain works, you can change your behavior because now you understand the why behind doing things, or you know, changing your thought pattern, and it's including working out. So I learned that when you work out, the reason you feel so good when you work out is because there's a protein that's released called BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
I love the fact that you can recall that. Like, that's awesome.
But it's a protein. Why it's important, though, is that it heals the damaged brain cells that's caused by stress.
Really?
So if you're in a high-stress work environment, which nowadays a lot of people are stressed out, you know, if you work out, that actually, it's like Miracle Grow for your brain.
Nice.
So then you have that, and then you have serotonin, oxytocin, that are happiness chemicals. That's why people feel good when they work out. But now that you understand why, it's like, why wouldn't you work out? Even when I don't feel motivated to work out, I was like, I know I have damaged brain cells. You know, it's like I need to get to healing, because when you have healthy,
and it's not just work, it's the kids, it's everything.
It's everything. Everything in life causes some level of stress. But when you work out, it helps relieve that, helps reset you. And when you have too much stress, it's like chronic stress, which to me one of the worst things is you lose focus and attention. So for highly efficient people, you want to be efficient. It's hard to be efficient when you can't focus on something, right? So exercising really helps with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, so there's this book, The Miracle Morning. On my other podcast, Rethink Real Estate, Abby Goler, who's a local radio show host here, explained his morning routine. Because this guy is like going 110 miles an hour. Like you and I can't even touch him. And I'm like, dude, how do you do it? Like, what's your morning look like? And he told me about this book, and it's, silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, writing. Like, and I started doing that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's life-changing.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
Especially, a lot.
Yeah. I do the same routine as you. Actually, I followed you for a while when you were waking up at 5.
Oh, yeah.
And
I was up at 5 a.m. this morning.
People probably thought you were crazy, but that's the secret to having. I just gave a talk on work-life balance, and that is what I focus on. That is the secret to having a balanced life or balanced day. You start out in the morning the right way. You have that ritual. Work out, same thing as you. Work out, listen to a podcast that's positive, podcast, positive message. Then you visualize.
Portraits of Atlanta is a good one.
Exactly. I mean, I love the speakers that you have on here. And then you do the visualization.
Yeah.
And then it's like no matter what happens in your day, how busy you get, you're still focused and you're good. You're balanced.
Always. One of the things that as a self-employed person, one of the things that really resonated with me in how I approach the day every day is for me, it's not work-life balance. There's never going to be a balance. It's integration. It's how do you do everything that you want in life and get everything that you need to get done at work at the same time. And sometimes it means, going to kindergarten graduation and then coming right to the office for, a product line meeting. Right? Those things just happen, but it's one of the joys about being self-employed, right?
Absolutely.
There's also a lot of nightmares with it, but awesome. Dee Dee. So we're getting to a point right now where we have what's called our speed round, and what we do is we're going to set a timer for 60 seconds, and when the timer, and we're going to just ask you a bunch of random questions.
Okay.
All right. The whole goal is just to get to know you. So let's go ahead and get 60 seconds on the clock. All right. What is your favorite way to spend a weekend?
I love to go hiking. I like taking 3-day weekends, Friday to Sunday, and just go somewhere far away.
Awesome. What type of music are you into?
I am into alternative music.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the best vacation you ever took and why?
Culebra in Puerto Rico. Some of the most beautiful beaches, and I really got to just spend time away with my kids and my family.
What's your favorite ice cream topping?
Graham crackers.
Ooh. What do you think of garden gnomes?
They're cute.
How would you solve problems if you were from Mars?
If I were from Mars?
If you were from Mars.
Wow. Had to... That's a crazy one.
There we go.
I tripped up on that one.
Gotcha.
Good.
Awesome. Dee Dee, it has been such a pleasure having you on Portraits of Atlanta today. For anybody who's interested in learning more about property management, or if somebody's out there thinking about becoming a real estate investor, renting out property, how can they get in touch with you?
Thank you. Thank you, Chris, first of all, for having me on here today. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in learning anything about property management, go to skylinepropertiesga.com. It has all of our services. If you are wanting to get into the property management business, check out narpm.org. There's plenty of resources on there. And you can always reach out to me. I'm on Facebook and also on Instagram.
Awesome. And we'll have all of your contact information on our website in the show notes at portraitsofatlanta.com. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Portraits of Atlanta is sponsored by Select Realty. Select Realty is proud to present Honest Offers. Honest Offers is more than just an instant cash offer on your home. We let you know how much you profit when you sell by owner, traditionally, or a cash offer. With Honest Offers, you'll know which selling method is right for you, the way you want to sell. We're revolutionizing home sales with Honest Offers. Contact us at 770-509-0265 or go to selectrealty.com with 2 L's in the word sell.